I'll make a lot of small variations of pieces, but I like to be an artist. I really like to do my own thing and not copy everything identical. So I will show you a couple other pieces I brought along. And I do my work on this light box on a heavy piece of glass because I need to see the colors and the texture and the grain as I'm putting it together and making it and designing it. And here's one that's just a rosebud that I did that
You hold that for you.
well, I gotta set it up here. And I did a red one, I did a white one, I did a yellow one, and I changed the outside surrounds to different colors. And I don't like to make the same thing twice. And here's a nice Catalina desert scene where I'm from, Catalina. And that was in a catalog, believe it or not. That was in a regular stained glass catalog you can get patterns from. And I changed it and changed the color of the mountains and stuff. But if you look at this without being light through it, you can't really tell what colors or anything. So that's why I like to work on the light box. And you see just what you're getting. Like this sunset part was all one piece of glass. So the color of the clouds carried through from one piece to the other. I have...
They sure are beautiful.
Yeah, and as far as the dichroic glass, I don't know if you can really see the iridescence in it. These are pendants I made, and I make earrings. I don't know if you can really see it very well, but in the sunlight they look great. They just sparkle, and it doesn't take a lot of. It takes a little bit of cost to get the equipment. Real quick, I'll go over a little bit of the equipment. This is a Toyo glass cutter that I use. This is a pair of pliers that's concave on one side and convex on the other. And you score the glass and you put it right on that black line and just squeeze it and it breaks the glass in half.
That cuts the glass also?
No, that breaks the
breaks
glass.
it.
This scores the glass. Okay. This breaks the glass. These pliers, they take off any kind of little nibble or any little nub that's sticking out. You can break off with these. Mm-hmm. Once you cut the glass, you have to grind it before you put the foil on it. I do what they call the Tiffany style, which is I use copper foil on the glass rather than using the lead came channel. But you need a grinder, which is, it's about that big, and this is a diamond bit. And the water constantly wets this diamond to smooth the edges of the glass. First of all, you don't get cut. You still get cut sometimes, but then you wrap the foil around that and press it down with a little, it looks like a pencil, I call it a fid. Okay. And that smooths the copper foil out so it'll take the solder. Okay. You need flux with the solder, and I use two different types of solder. There's a whole world to this, but... Okay.
Wow, that looks like a pretty intense or quite time-consuming project. However, you're very experienced according to what you had shared with me earlier. So how long have you been doing this?
I'd say 10 years, off and on. Mm-hmm. And I work at it for a couple hours, pretty much every day in the week, but then I get tired and I go on to something else. So.
And what did you do before, George?
I built houses for 30-some years, and then I was a machinist for about 10 years, and I was in the Navy, and I did everything. But if you take an interest in doing something and you're good with your hands, you can do just about anything. So.
I was going to ask you, what is your advice to a young student or a young artist? And you just answered it.
Well, there's some glass houses here in Tucson that offer classes. I would love to teach somebody what I know, but if you took 10 different stained glass artists, they'd all have a different way of doing things. There's basics, but some people like to cut the glass ahead of time. Some people cut a few pieces, then they foil it and they solder it so it doesn't move around. I've done it all ways, but I'd like to show somebody how to do this sometime.
Wow. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people who would love to learn this, George, and we would like to dedicate more time with that in our next segment. And we thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.